true. They are shorter practice sessions, but it's still frantic out there. It's time, Jack, for this.
Okay, and there's some time to gain. Braking for turn 4 and exit off turn 14.
Oh, how we've missed that jingle, eh?
Andrew, we sent it to you over the winter so you could keep listening to it.
Yeah, I don't have the Eagles in my record collection actually, but anyway, well, not that one anyway. Yeah, so it's actually really interesting. Verstappen and Hamilton. I don't know what Pete Bonington was talking about, but obviously he's got a lot more data than I have. But just in terms of pure lap times, there's certainly not an 8th, 10th offset between Verstappen and Hamilton. In actual fact, they're pretty much neck and neck. Depending on whether you include Hamilton's last lap, which was a second off what he'd been doing before, if you don't include that lap, they're both doing 37.3 on average, and they're the quickest two drivers out there.
Were they on the same tyres?
Yeah, they are both on mediums. Unfortunately...
Okay, pace so far similar to Sainz in the Ferrari. Let's see what's left these last 2 laps. 2 more timed laps.
Is some way off Hamilton and Verstappen. Norris is also some way off. And for those people who think that Fernando Alonso's passed it, he's currently 0.3 of a second on average faster than Esteban Ocon on his race simulation run.
Okay, so that second off from Hamilton was probably that lock up at turn 8 that we just saw. So that probably puts down to that. But so are you gonna? Do you want to message Pete Bonington, Mercedes, or shall I, saying that Pete, you're clueless? I'm Andrew Benson's notepad says, but no, but it was a weird because it was a 0.8 offset was what he said, but he didn't sort of specify whether that was plus 0.8 or minus 0.8. It was a very interesting message. It
doesn't look 0.8 either way, to be honest with you at the moment, Jack. And,
he said it was due to engine modes.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, Joe, and it's really interesting that he says it's an engine offset, and I think he means offset as in slower than. If they are running their engine down at Mercedes compared to Red Bull and Honda, and they're still lapping within the same 10th of a second as each other, that obviously bodes quite well for Mercedes. But it doesn't. Just on everything we've seen so far in 2021, which is not that much, obviously only 3 days of testing and most of the day of practice, it doesn't look like there's a massive offset, does it? It looks like they're pretty close, and we're still to decide tomorrow and Sunday which one's ahead. But anyway, they look neck and neck, and they look the 2 fastest drivers out there, basically, would be my conclusion so far.
On the back of today, Andrew, who are you going for qualifying and the race?
Oh, that is a really, really tough call.
Isn't it great that it's a tough call?
Yeah, isn't it brilliant? Yeah, I mean, I think Hamilton's Hamilton. He's heading for 100 wins and 100 poles. How can you look past Hamilton with the history of Mercedes over the last 7 years and everything? But I think Verstappen looks like he can push him really close. So it's all to play for and a mouth-watering prospect, I think.
Who are you going for?
Hamilton.
You can't, that's the thing, you just can't not, almost. Bottas saying on the radio, the car's undrivable, which is not a common complaint for a Mercedes driver, but the checker flag is out, and Max Verstappen does a clean sweep in Bahrain. A 1:30.847, a tenth ahead of Lando Norris in the McLaren, Lewis Hamilton 3rd, Sainz 4th, Bottas 5th, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Stroll, Gasly and Perez the rest of the top 10. Ocon in 11th, Leclerc 12th, Giovinazzi 13th, Vettel 14th, Alonso 15th, Raikkonen 16th, all separated by 1 second. 1 second covering the top 16. Then you
could have engine 13, position 9. Engine 1-3, position 9. If you're not happy with drivability, we'll make the change back. Let me know.
You want me to drive around with the handbrake?
Engine 13, position 7. Engine 13, position 7.
Everyone except the Williams and the Haas. So all of the whole field that isn't the back markers are second. It's just fantastic. It's just refreshing and fantastic. And look, I love commentating on Formula One. I'm very lucky to do this job. But the first race I ever commentated on was 2014 Chinese Grand Prix. Hamilton just walked away with it. So I've never commentated on like a real
mouth-watering battle.
Yeah, and a real mouth-watering F1 season. We had some flashes, and the Rosberg fight was interesting, and the Ferrari looked a bit good at times in 18 and 19, but this feels like it could be a season-long decent season.
And what's exciting for me with it is Verstappen v Hamilton.
Yeah.
And these are for the last 2 years, the end of season reviews, who's been the stronger driver. It's so difficult to separate them. Hamilton's been champion, he's won his 7, he's broken all the records, he's been outstanding. But so has Verstappen in what has been an inferior car. He's destroyed teammates for fun. He's barely made mistakes since 2018, and he had his load of mistakes at the start of that. He turned over a new leaf, and finally we've got a glimpse that it might be a bit of a Hamilton v Verstappen showdown. We've got a driver, I think, that has the capability of taking the fight to Hamilton over 23 races.
He's a mouth-watering prospect. I've looked into the eyes of both of those men. Lewis Hamilton, I remember back in sort of 17, was saying that he just wanted...
Could have engine 13, position 9. Engine 1-3.
In a world.
Okay, nice work. Good job. And tricky last run.
Is it Verstappen? Is it Hamilton?
But this is why we're here.